Are you looking for a project that you can do for free to impress hiring managers? Or maybe you want to build something challenging and rewarding? I want you to imagine something. Having your own SOC automation lab that will include Waza, which will be your SIM and XDR, the Hive for case management, and Shuffle for SOAR capabilities. If you are someone that is wanting to get some solid hands on experience, I am positive that this project will do just that. The good news is that this can be done in the cloud. So that means anybody can do this project. And yes, including those with M1, M2, and M3 Max. Together, we will start from scratch and I'll take you from not having a home lab at all to a fully functional home lab with responsive capabilities and a case management system to mimic a real SOC environment. It will be up to you at the end to scale it to how you want it to be and automate to your liking. You can seriously make this go from a basic home lab to a very advanced home lab really quickly. Also, as a bonus, if you are someone that knows how to code, you could even create scripts for responsive capabilities, which would be extremely impressive. Anything to make identification, containment, or eradication of a particular threat quicker is always nice to have. You want to stick to the end of the video because I'll be introducing you to a new tool that I've personally been using quite often for my investigations. If you are a student or a professional that wants to transition into cybersecurity, I want you to know that I offer free mentorship on my site with no strings attached. On there, you will also see products that I've personally created in which you can download to help guide you along this journey. These products include resume and cover letter templates, bookmarks, a 1-year roadmap on how to get started in cybersecurity, and a list of interview questions to help you in your next interview. Also, as a sneak peek, I am in the process of creating a SOC course where there will be over 20 hands-on labs and multiple projects that you can put onto your resume. You can join the waitlist if you choose to do so. My mission here is to help you get to where you want to be. Now, this will be a 5-part series, beginning with day 1, where I will walk you through on how you can draw a logical diagram, as this will help you visualize your lab and make it easier for not only yourself, but also for others to digest. On the second day, I will walk you through on how to install the components and get you set up in the cloud. If you don't want to use the cloud and have the resources to spin up a virtual machine on your host, you can do that as well. On the third day will be a longer episode as I will be showing you how to configure the servers and endpoints to talk to one another. The fourth day will be extremely exciting because we will begin to generate telemetry that is related to Mimikatz on our endpoint, which will then trigger an alert on Waza that you created. The fifth and final day will be a long one, as we will go through on how to set up SOAR step by step and integrate everything together. So this means our Waza, the Hive, and Shuffle. We will see how alerts get sent over to the SOAR platform and created in the Hive while automatically emailing analysts such as yourself about the details of the alert, along with automated responsive capabilities. Now, that might sound extremely intimidating, but don't worry, I'll walk you through it step by step. Now, the reason we want to send these alerts over to the Hive is so we can keep track on who is working on the alerts, similar to a real SOC environment would do, along with sending emails directly to an inbox to review the details of the said alert. For example, if an IDS alert was generated for Cobalt Strike, the analyst would then begin by looking at surrounding events, and if they identified the user had accessed, let's say, a domain called malware.com prior to the alert, they could then perform additional analysis on that domain. Analysts can utilize domain reputation tools for passive analysis. And if they have the go-ahead, they can perform dynamic analysis by looking at the domain's behavior, by accessing it. And they can use something like SquareX who is our sponsor for today's video. SquareX is founded by Vivek Ramachandran, who was also the founder of Pentester Academy. So if you're on the red team side of things, you probably heard of him before. SquareX does provide consumers with what is called disposable web browsers, file viewers, emails, and offers smart integration. I've personally switched over to using SquareX to help me perform additional investigation, especially when I want to perform some dynamic browser analysis, because there are times when I am curious what this particular website will do if accessed. Perhaps a file was downloaded, or maybe the site redirected you to another site that hosts suspicious or malicious activity. Now, of course, with every investigation, you want to make sure you do your due diligence and perform what is called passive analysis on your IOCs, your indicators of compromise, before you think about dynamic analysis. But after you've done your due diligence and perhaps been given the green light from senior analysts, using SquareX's disposable products is extremely easy to use and convenient. And it also has one amazing feature that I'll show at the end. Because of that, I've switched over from using other browser tools to using SquareX. To begin, we'll head over to their site. You will be presented with two options. The first one is using their web extension, and that is available on Chrome, Edge, and Brave. Or number two, you can use their web app. There are benefits on using either one of them, and regardless of the option, you will still have the capability of utilizing these amazing disposable products. For example, if you were to use the extension, SquareX will integrate its capability onto your web browser. This means that you can quickly spin up a disposable browser, a file viewer, or even email with just a couple clicks. And it will all integrate with each other. In other words, if I were to receive a link in my disposable email, I can go ahead and click on the link and it will open up a disposable web browser automatically. You can only do this with the extension. It also comes with what are called smart integrations. This will provide you with the capability to block all email trackers so senders will never know that you've viewed their email. And as a bonus, it's a seamless integration with Gmail. But if you're like me and don't like to install web extensions because they tend to be, well, extremely permissive, that's okay, because SquareX thought of that as well and built out a web application for people like myself who is extremely paranoid, and I can still use the tool. Without the extension, we do not get the smart integration or any integration, but that is okay. We can still utilize the disposable browser, file viewer, and the emails separately. Let me show you how easy it is to use SquareX. If you have the web extension installed, to spin up a web browser, all you need to do is click on the icon. Select from the dropdown and select the country where you want the browser to source from. So for me, I'll go ahead and select Canada and hit start. And just like that, a disposable browser is spun up. A couple of quick pointers here though. On the bottom right, I want you to take a look at those download speeds. If you have terrible internet, you could potentially use this to your advantage. Now, secondly, this browser has a capability to share the session amongst others. This is extremely helpful for us analysts who work from home, and I'll tell you why. If I wanted another analyst to take a look at a certain site, maybe I needed some help with an investigation, instead of sharing my screen, I could easily just share my session. Next are the options to block or see an ad. Now I know what you might be thinking. Why would I want to see an ad? Maybe you're investigating something that relates to ads, perhaps a malicious embedded URL in an ad. The next option is the sound option. You can turn that on or off. And finally, the ability to full screen the browser. You might have noticed that there's a timer as well. When it's around 3 minutes, you can actually extend the timer by 10 minutes, which is a nice feature to have. So let's go ahead and type in speed test and check it out. And just look at those speeds, crazy. We can also check our IP just to make sure it isn't running on our public IP. Moving on to the disposable file viewer. We can open this by clicking on the icon and hit start. This is a lifesaver for me personally because there have been so many times when my family members ask me if I could open up a certain document because they just don't have the application installed. And me being extremely paranoid, I second guess everything before executing. So file viewers are a lifesaver. With the file viewer, I could simply just drag and drop the document or instruct my family to sign up for SquareX and use it and open it there. Honestly, I say this way too many times, but it's a lifesaver. For example, let's say that Bobby wants to open up an Excel document and ask if you can help him see the contents within that document. Well, you yourself don't have Excel as well. So you instruct Bobby to head over to SquareX, sign up, and log in and open up a disposable file viewer. So let's just say that this is Bobby's computer. As you can see, he wants to open up an Excel file called Cybersecurity Terminology, and he can't because he does not have Excel installed. So let's go ahead and drag this file into the file viewer, and now Bobby can learn all the terminology he wants. There are a couple of options on the bottom right. You have the option to share the session similar to the web browser, along with the sound. However, there are two additional options, and one of it is uploading a file, and the second is to download the file. Now, just for fun, let's go ahead and copy the file session and then dispose our session, just to see if we could re-access our session. To dispose our web browser or even a file viewer, you can simply close out the tab, click on the extension icon if you're using the extension, and then click on Dispose. This should tear down the session, and we'll paste in the session that we copied earlier, and look at that, it's gone. Next is the disposable emails. By default, SquareX generates a random email for you, and you have the option to regenerate these if you like or edit them to your liking. We can simply access our inbox by clicking on Inbox, and all of the emails will be here. This is a great way to prevent using your actual email when a company asks you for, well, your email. Do keep in mind though, because these are disposable emails, you will not have the option to actually send from them, because that's not the purpose. As for smart integrations, this is automatically turned on and integrated with Gmail. So if we go ahead and right click our email and select Preview in Enhanced Privacy Mode, the email will open up in a disposable file viewer and will block all email trackers, including images, and will not alert the senders that you had read the email. You have the ability to modify the settings by simply toggling on or off, and you're good to go. Lastly, in addition to the ease of use, the one feature that made me switch over from other web products. Now I know what you are thinking. What happens to my data, or is my data being sent to SquareX? Isn't this a privacy issue? Well, I'm always skeptical, trust me. However, SquareX claims that they do not track or store any of the user's data. Therefore, anything that happens within the container itself is out of their visibility. There are no logs retained and everything is destroyed. So this includes artifacts or history or anything. Once you dispose the browser or file viewer, it is all gone. I'll leave a link down below for you to sign up with SquareX. Seriously, try them out for yourself. And if you've used other browser tools before, you will love SquareX. Really, the sky is the limit once you have completed the SOC Automation Project and have it up and running. You will likely come across a lot of errors during this project, but please don't get discouraged. I want you to try and research for the answers and see if you can solve it. If you cannot find the answer, leave it in the comment section below, and I'm sure someone may have the answer to that. You might be asking, can you just do, well, everything from Waza? I mean, kind of, yeah, but that's just too simple. I want you to flex your skills, work on your troubleshooting, and get some exposure to SOAR and a case management system such as the Hive. That is it for the video, and I hope you are excited as I am to get started. If you plan on following along, do set up a GitHub account or a free site if you haven't done so already, because you do want to showcase your work and prove to others that you have built a SOC automation lab.